Welcome to a new update, and today we're going to cover the markets as we have been seeing altcoins dropping down in their Bitcoin pair. We're going to dive into that for a little bit, as today it's CPI data. If you have been checking my Twitter, then you have been seeing what the CPI data actually was today and whether or not that's going to have a positive impact on the markets. But I'm still on vacation, so this topic will be about altcoins that have been dropping down. We're going to cover ETH for a little bit as well, and that's what we're going to do. But before we're going to continue, make sure to subscribe beneath, like this YouTube update, and check out my Twitter and Instagram where you can find daily content on the markets. And then if you do enjoy what we're doing, we've got a trading and investing platform where I share my personal trades. Soon we will be sharing the returns as well. And we do have trade ideas and more, which will be covered daily on a daily basis within the platform. You can test it for free for 1 week, and a newsletter as well, which gives you altcoin setups and more. So when we're looking at the markets have been correcting for altcoins, especially the Bitcoin pairs have been showing some weak momentum in which those have been correcting down, and the USDT pairs are relatively stable. What does that tell you? Well, Bitcoin was 18.5k just 5-6 days ago, and now it's above 22, and we were close to 23k actually, which means that the strength is going towards Bitcoin. And why is the strength going towards Bitcoin? Well, the dollar is dropping down as well. Ukraine and Russia are into a war. Ukraine is getting territories back, which is giving a result towards the euro, which is a positive impact. And then second, we also see that the Euro USD pair is making some strength. So on the higher time frame, it is signaling that we could be getting into a bottom, which means that risk on assets are doing well. And that's why we see indices doing well, and so does Bitcoin. And as Bitcoin has reversed from 18.5k to 23k, in between we have seen an acceleration and also a short squeeze from people that had been into positions, resulting into the case that the focus is on Bitcoin. And then second, if Bitcoin starts to grind up, which is currently the case, you will see that people are swapping their altcoins towards Bitcoin, as that is taking the momentum right now. So people want to get into that pace and want to jump on the Bitcoin train and sell their altcoins for Bitcoin. That's what we have been seeing. But at some point in time, the question is where Bitcoin will be consolidating, and that is going to be the trigger where altcoins are starting to fire off. Because if we look at the markets at this point, Bitcoin is showing strength, and the chances that it's going to make new lows are decreasing. And given that we have the strength right now, soon it will be having some period of consolidation, and then the altcoins will just follow through. That's the part of the intro right now. Let's dive into the charts, in which I'll cover the total market cap, I'll cover Euro USD, and I'll also dive into altcoins for a little bit. So let's dive into the charts. So when we're looking at Bitcoin, we know that this is the case, right? So we have been covering this in the update yesterday, and I said that the lower time frame picture is still the same. So we've had this squeeze, so we're dropping beneath, and we have been testing the 19.5k level. We have been breaking beneath, through which all the highs here have been taken, and acceleration took place, in which a short squeeze has been happening. Since the last part, which is since we broke through 21.6, you saw that altcoins have been losing momentum. So we have been into this territory here, or this area, and altcoins have been losing momentum, in which those have been dropping down in their Bitcoin pair. So if we're looking at Bitcoin, technically speaking, I preferably want to see it hold above 21.6 to avoid a breakdown, because then I'll be looking at 20.5 as I said yesterday. In that case, it's also CPI data day, so probably we are having a fake out, we are having a ton of volatility either way, which means that we might be dipping beneath to squeeze some lows, and then we go up, or the other way around. It's just a question of the CPI data. Then also we are looking at resistance around 23.3, and then we can just construct ourselves into a range in which 21.6 is still the area to hold. That is still up for debate here. And when we're looking at the markets, the DXY index is showing weakness here, as the weekly time frame is showing us a bearish divergence and also a huge sell-off since the last week. So we could be at the top of the dollar. Now we also want to see the yields drop down, and ultimately we can see this bullish divergence on the DXY or on the Euro USD pair, as this one is bouncing back up, and the Euro USD pair is one of the biggest variables of the construction of the DXY index. So that's why those two are very heavily inversely correlated. In that case, we are seeing strength on Euro USD, which is great, which is resulting into indices going up too, and Euro USD is back to 1.015. Now, if we are looking at the yields, that's the final one that has to start dropping. Right now we still see a ton of strength here, and the question is whether we are going to drop on this relatively soon, or whether we continue this upwards trend on the yields. But if this one starts to fall down as well, that is going to be the trigger for the markets of risk on to really start rallying. Now when we're looking at altcoins have been losing momentum, technically speaking, as we are seeing this downward drop. The ETH Bitcoin pair is having a bearish divergence here as well. So there are a few key triggers that you should be looking at. First of all, if it can't really break above this block of 0.08, the chances are that we're going to get ourselves into a downtrend and that we're looking for lower levels. So then we've got a fake out here, and if we construct the fake out, we can also ultimately say that we are into support around 0.075, which means that that is the area to hold, and that is the area where you want to be looking for longs. If you look at other altcoins, most of them have been showing some weakness in the previous days, especially since Bitcoin has been running up swiftly. So if we get towards a conclusion, this sell-off of altcoins is the ultimate result of people selling their altcoins for the run of Bitcoin, as Bitcoin is gaining strength. Now if Bitcoin starts to correct, that is very likely happening at some point in time, altcoins will still drop. Maybe the Bitcoin pairs will stabilize, and when Bitcoin finishes that correction, the altcoins will start to shoot off until Bitcoin makes new highs. That is likely going to be the case. So this means that you should not be selling your altcoins. You should just be understanding the metrics of the markets at this point and just remain calm. So let's get towards the conclusion of this update. Thanks for watching to this update, and if you have been following my Twitter today, you know what the CPI data means, and tomorrow we're going to cover that in the update. I'll be enjoying my vacation. I'll be covering the YouTube updates still on a daily basis. Make sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel, like this YouTube update, and I'll see you again tomorrow for a new update. Ciao!